Welcome to the Bulletproof Cashflow podcast, the go-to place to gain financial freedom through real estate investing. Here we interview investors, mentors, and entrepreneurs who share their secrets and advice to help you build passive income. Let's get into the show.
Hey everyone, this is Agostino. Attending the right conference can take your brand, business, and sales to the next level. You can network with other like-minded people while getting inspired with some great content and even make some long-lasting business relationships. In my life, I've been to more conferences than I could even count. Only a few, though, were totally game-changing for me. But this past weekend, I was able to kick off 2019 with the best single conference I could possibly imagine for any business owner, real estate entrepreneur, investor, or marketer. The 2019 10X Growth Con was attended by over 30,000 people, and there were some world-class speakers like Shark Tank's Daymond, Spanx CEO, billionaire Sara Blakely, and motivational author John Maxwell, just to name a few. There was so much information I picked up in that 3-day event, but I narrowed it down to these 10 lessons. I feel like there should be more, but then this episode would really go on for hours. So let's just get into it. So number one, got to be deliberate. Jesse Itzler, he's a partner in the coconut water Zico coconut water company, and they sold off Coca-Cola, and he founded his own jet company that he ended up selling off to Berkshire Hathaway. He said that as an entrepreneur, you are the business plan. Investors will put up money into your business because they believe in you. So you really need to be deliberate to build your own story to achieve your goals. For example, you can offer a service for free to a company and just to add it to your portfolio, just to get your foot in the door. Because if you are currently not doing anything, let's say for instance you're unemployed right now, maybe you're not a real estate entrepreneur listening to this podcast, doesn't mean that you can't try to help another company become more successful, because it could lead to another role with them, right? But part of this is being deliberate with your efforts. If the end goal is to get a job, for instance, you should totally do that. If your end goal is to be an entrepreneur, people are investing in you. Bethany Frankel, she's another person that also spoke at the event. This lady, she's actually got her start in TV, being on the Celebrity Apprentice with Martha Stewart, and she came in second. And from there, fast forward to today, she's got her own TV show. But even that wasn't without its faults. When she first started her own TV show, all they were giving her is $7,000 a series, including all the makeup, clothes, and everything. So it wasn't even that much money. But you know what, though? She was deliberate. She intended on making this show be a success, and that's exactly what she did. It's the price you're willing to pay to stand out and grow faster. Jesse and Sarah, they're married. They make conscious efforts to make great memories with their kids and their friends. They're very deliberate about their family life, and it's very important to them. John Maxwell, for instance, the author I mentioned earlier, he has these learning lunch sessions every week where he invites people that are smarter than him to come have lunch together. That way he can pick up ideas from them and maybe include them into his next book, or even create a whole book just off of what he learns from these people. The point is that all these people are very deliberate with their efforts. They don't waste time. They don't dilly-dally. They focus and they execute. So to do that requires a high degree of being very deliberate with your actions. It's very important. For number two, John Maxwell, he suggests 5 things that set you apart from others, and try to do them every day. If these 5 things are aligned with your goals and you have the right tools to achieve your goals and you're consistent, you are going to stand out, right? Because the main issue is that if you are the same as everyone else, no one has any reason to do business with you, right? Being different, being someone that is innovative and really stands out from the pack is what it takes to really get that notice from other people, and then people want to do business with you. Maybe you're a diligent person, maybe you just don't give up, and that's something that you can use as a core strength to get more business for your company or for yourself. It's funny how all these people, again, had the same sort of thread. These are people that were very, very different in their think, very different in what they expected out of life. And then they just went after it and they did not quit, and I think that if you're able to adopt those sorts of thought patterns and make it part of your own internal operating system, you can be very successful, just by being different. The third, forget about the finish line. John Maxwell, again, he had this great advice to keep growing and get better and never retire. And he would actually, here's the quote, and he says, "I'm 71 and I always wake up excited because I'm always growing." And it's funny listening to a 71-year-old man say that. Now here's a guy that wrote over, I think it's well over 45 books around self-improvement, self-development, and every day he repeats the process. He reads, thinks, files, asks questions, and repeats every single day. That is what he does, and here's this man full of vitality, and he's up on stage and he is telling the world about how he has built his success. He's not even thinking about retiring. He's not thinking about quitting anytime soon. He's thinking about helping people. He's thinking about continuing to build his brand, doing more digital work. And here's a man that's 71 years old. You want to have that kind of vitality. You don't want to have the retirement mentality. When you do, it's kind of like you've given up on life. And and again, that's my opinion. I think that it is, it might be taken wrong by some others, but you know what? We live a very short life, guys, and we have to make the most of it. So the thought of retiring, at least for me anyway, doesn't even enter my mind. And I totally agree with John Maxwell on that one. Number 4, push yourself much harder. Jesse Itzler, he said that when your brain says you're done, you're only 40% there. He learned that from his book. He actually wrote a book, Living with a SEAL, where he had a Navy SEAL living at his house for a month. It's a very interesting book. I'll include a link to the description. But meaning you can always do more. Jesse talked about several people who pushed themselves beyond what they seemed was impossible to achieve their goals. He likes to do business with these sorts of people because how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you have that won't quit, won't give up attitude, you can achieve some great, great things. That's the thing, and I think that from everything when we're at the gym and we're working out, we're pushing ourselves hard and we think we only have one more bench left, one more bench press left. There is room for more. There is room for more. We just have to push ourselves to achieve that success. And the same thing goes for business. There's times when maybe the business is just starting out and things aren't going your way, or a deal just didn't go your way. It may seem like you just want to give up. But you know what? As long as you push yourself harder, all it means is you got to get more LOIs out. All it means is you got to get more phone calls. All it means is you need more deal flow. That's what's up. That's what needs to happen. Push yourself harder. Number 5, help your kids be great. And this is really around parenting, but Sara Blakely, she told us how her dad would ask her every week, "What did you fail at this week?" And he would be disappointed if she said she had nothing to say, and doing this and doing this exercise, Sara understood that a failure is not defined by what you can't achieve, but what you don't try. She understood that the more you experience in life, the more you can offer to others. So she and Jesse use this technique with their kids today. And they're inspiring them to always try new things and not abandon them at the first shot. Even Grant and Elena, they've taught their two daughters, a 7 and a 9-year-old daughter, to improve themselves every day. And both of them spoke confidently in front of over 30,000 people in a stadium. It's amazing. Most 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds would just run to the back, or let alone even when you say hi to them at the mall, they hide behind their parents. Here are these 2 young ladies that spoke in front of 30,000 people. Amazing stuff. You have to help your kids be great. It's I try to do that with my son every day as best I can anyway. But it's when you're able to help your kids be great, it comes around full circle. It always does. It's good stuff. Number 6, face your fears. Sara Blakely talked about how she approaches her fears. Many years ago, she learned from the most common fears in the world, and that's public speaking, and being embarrassed from being up there. So she figured that she would have to beat those fears to be successful. And to beat those fears for public speaking, when she spoke in public, she tried to get out there as much as she can, but she would also share her embarrassing situations with everyone all the time, you know? So, the worst thing that could happen is you become memorable. That's what she says, and, she's very authentic, and she's not interested in wearing like a fake mask to make others think that there's always something great behind it. There's some sort of other ulterior motive. It's people really love to hear other authentic speakers, that have a great story, an inspiring story. And in her case, she uses some of the embarrassing ones to really help support her fear of public speaking, and getting out there and beat that fear away, so it's amazing stuff. Number 7, think more. Sara was also saying how she drove around going from city to city when she was doing her sales job before she founded Spanx, the company that's now gone on to gross billions of dollars in revenue. It's in these moments where she lets her mind wander and she finds the best ideas for her company. Ty Lopez, he was also there. He spoke he said that Jeff Bezos stays in bed until like 10 a.m. And all he does when he wakes up, he lays in bed and thinks. That's what works for him. For you, maybe you're doing it in the shower, maybe you're doing it through meditation or walking or some other type of exercise, that really sets time apart just for you to really think about what needs to happen for the day, what needs to happen for the quarter, maybe even for the year, and to reflect on your goals, to really decide what needs to happen next. It's those sorts of activities that you can build your best ideas. And if you set up deliberate times to think about that every day, you won't forget to do it. And I think that by setting aside time to letting your mind wander and think about how you can help your business, support the people in your business, that's how you can get some great success. Of course, always seek the counsel of your mentors and others as well, but nothing wrong with taking in their ideas and trying to reflect on them by setting aside some time and really thinking about it. Number 8, find your self-limiting beliefs about money and eliminate them. Sara suggests that we reflect negatively on money and success, and we see it in the media all the time. Whenever there's a billionaire that's speaking on TV or in a magazine somewhere, or online rather, people will comment negatively about that person, or it's funny how everybody wants to be rich and everybody wants to be successful, or at least most people do anyway. But it's another thing to be critical of those people. Most people that reach those heights, that become successful, they end up becoming much more helpful to others. As they gain their wealth. Sara had mentioned that these sorts of people really become givers. They start giving away their wealth. And these are the sorts of people. These are the sorts of people that we actually need in this world. But many people are not aware of these things because they don't boast. The wealthy don't exactly boast about how much money they gave away to a charity. I mean, some do, but very rarely do you hear about it. And those limiting beliefs is what's ingrained in our culture today. But you know what? If anybody out there listening knows me, they know that I'm really big on trying to make as much money as you can and trying to help as many people as you can. That's so important to do, and there's nothing wrong with it. Not ashamed of it at all, and neither should you be. Number 9, partner with the right people. John Maxwell, he says that you need to partner up with people who can add value to you and you can add value to them. You make them a priority, never violate the trust, you always exceed their expectations, and you improve the partnership as it grows. That's the way a good partnership is. There are plenty of partnerships out there where you think you have a partnership, but then the partner, as soon as things start getting hot and heavy at the business, they disappear. Or maybe the business needs to get funded with some extra cash, they're gone. That is not a strong partnership because the trust is gone. And additionally, that person who violated the trust will never get another deal with that person ever again, or possibly anywhere else for that matter. It depends. But the thing is that violating that trust is the worst thing you can possibly do in a partnership. It's just very, very bad for the partnership, very bad for the business. The really, it should be the longer the relationship, the better it should get. And if it's not getting any better, it's certainly not going to serve anyone. Elena Cardone, she was talking about the importance of being on the same page with your spouse, figuring out each other's, strengths and weaknesses, creating a shared purpose and supporting each other's goals and not fighting over small problems. And it was a very interesting insight that we got as a group there, because, where most couples are fighting about, hell, what they're going to have for dinner, Elena and Grant are really focused on supporting each other and going after the big goals when it comes to the business. So they're not living a compartmented life like most people do. It's one life with a lot of activities. Yes, they're buying real estate. Yes, they're going to different cities to go look at properties. Yes, they're also going out to dinner. Yes, they're taking their employees out and rewarding them. That is life. That is not just a segmented part of the business. So it's a very interesting insight on how that partnership really works. And as a couple, it works out very well for them because they establish an understanding right from the beginning, right at the get-go. And that's what's made them a huge success together. And finally, number 10, adjust your actions, not your dreams. Grant Cardone mentioned in the conference, as well as his books, he's talked about this numerous times, is the importance of setting high goals. And what most people do is when they don't meet their goal, they end up reducing it. They lower their dreams and then more to the average, right? And when you start doing that, when you start bringing your dreams down to average, you don't lead the life that you really want, and really Grant was talking about setting that goal and stop at nothing, become obsessed with achieving that goal. That's it's all within us. We all have that ability to do it. But it really requires us to be fanatical almost around achieving that goal and stopping at nothing to make sure that goal is met. If it looks like you're not going to make it because you're not running fast, run faster. If it looks like you're not going to meet the goal of your 500 units this year, put up more LOIs, call more brokers, double down. If this is really, really what you want to do, if you have a passion for whatever it is, you have to have that passion drive your goals. That's what it is. Because ultimately, if you stop, that means it was never theirs in the first place. So you have to make sure that passion stays ignited all the time. Anyway, there are so many great lessons and takeaways that I walked away with that I put into play almost immediately in my personal and professional life. I always, have a great, as I mentioned earlier, great experiences at conferences, and this one was by far one of the best ones. I had the opportunity to meet some great people, and I may actually do business with too. They've already reached out to me because that's what 10Xers do, right? So, you've heard me say it before in other podcasts and other daily videos as well. Your network is your net worth. So get out there and do your networking. All right. Take care, everyone, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the Bulletproof Cashflow podcast. For more free podcasts, articles, videos, and resources, go to www.bulletproofcashflow.com.